Welcome everyone to another episode of the world's greatest news and reviews.
Giving you opinions about nerd stuff is our superpower.
I'm Captain Mal.
I'm Hailstorm.
I'm Weapon 2, and this time we've let Captain Mal choose. So this episode is going to be about batshit crazy Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I support that.
Perhaps the podcast countdown I have the most, or have looked forward to the most, and have damn sure lobbied for the most. If it were up to me, this countdown would have happened like 4 podcasts ago, but I finally get my wish. We're doing one of my favorite actors of all time, Mr. Crazy Tom Cruise. And thank you for joining us on, what are we, episode 23?
Yeah.
World's greatest.
That is true.
That's damn.
23.
We're going to have to do something special for our 25th anniversary.
Okay, I'm excited.
I don't know what we're going to do.
All right, we're coming up with
I
something.
leave it to you guys to come up with something.
All right, sounds
That's
good.
rude.
I know, right?
I'll do.
But yeah, so let's just get right into it. Get right into our countdown of the top 5 Tom Cruise movies of all time. And this was the hardest list for me personally. I love a lot of Tom Cruise movies. I did the most shuffling. It was hard. There's a solid argument that my list can be switched around. And yeah, I'm actually genuinely curious what you guys are going to have on your list, especially Miss Hailstorm being the big Tom Cruise fan that she is. Mm-hmm. So
I think it's easy to say that the more you love an actor, the harder it is to make a list. So I found this one pretty easy to make.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right. Do you want to go first? Do you want to kick things off?
I can go first.
All right, let's do it.
My number 5 was a little movie from long ago called The Outsiders.
Ooh.
I loved the book, which I think, if anybody remembers that movie, you probably read the book also, because for years it was required reading in like junior high or high school. Mm-hmm. But written by S.E. Hinton, and I believe she was she was young when she wrote it. I should have looked it up, but I forgot to look it up again. She's super young when she wrote it, and I believe that she recently, I could be wrong, I'm not even going to say. I thought she recently wrote another book, which would have left a huge span in between, but I don't even know if that's true, so I'm not even...
She wrote Rumblefish.
She did.
And some other ones.
Yeah. So The Outsiders is about 2 teen gangs in Oklahoma in the 50s?
Yeah.
so, yeah.
The Greasers and the Socias.
The Socias.
Yeah.
And so it's like your preppy kids and your not preppy kids, basically. And I think one of the best things about the movie is that it's pretty close to the book. They did a really good job with it. I wrote down who directed it, because one of the things about Tom Cruise is he's worked with some of the best directors in the business. That The Outsiders was directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons why I liked it is because Tom Cruise is not like a standout star. He's in a pretty amazing ensemble cast with Patrick Swayze, C. Thomas Howell, Ralph Macchio, just a ton of Matt Dillon, which when I was going through these names, I was like, God, these were the names of my childhood. But then I was like, does anybody know who these people are anymore?
Yeah.
Rob Lowe was in it. And they were all young.
This is before he got his teeth fixed. His teeth were jacked the fuck up in this movie.
Fucking Ralph Macchio.
Yeah. This is before they got
Karate
straightened
Kid.
out.
Yeah.
But even now, he has one tooth right in the middle, which is strange. Most people have a gap in the middle.
That's my number 5. My number
Nice.
5.
Yeah.
All right, so I think Tom Cruise is an interesting actor in that I don't think he's necessarily like the greatest actor in the world. I mean, he's no Denzel, but especially recently though, he kind of has had this career renaissance where he is just making amazing action movies, specifically like really good sci-fi action movies. And his dedication to his craft in terms of realism and like learning how to do crazy shit like fly helicopters and stuff like that. That's why I respect him as an actor. And all his action movies to me, especially a lot of the last 10 years or so, are genuinely entertaining. If they weren't such good action movies and they kept continuing to like raise the bar, I wouldn't have such an admiration for him. But that's why I like him so much. So a lot of my stuff is going to be more action oriented and probably on the newer end of the spectrum, even though I do like a lot of his old movies. But my number 5 is Jack Reacher. I think Jack Reacher is a really, really, really cool story. He's ex-military police. He's just kind of a drifter, kind of a wanderer, goes around just like handling shit. It's a story of a killing that happens, and it's the investigation that follows that, and it's set up just a little too perfectly, and they're basically trying to frame someone that is an asshole and like deserves to be guilty, but the point is he didn't actually do it, so that's not right. And Tom Cruise investigates this and just beats the shit out of a lot of people. Now, I think this is based off novels, and the character Jack Reacher is supposed to be like 6'10", 6'9", something like that. So the actual book community was
so he's
really
a midget compared.
Yeah, so they were
a little person compared.
So they were actually
little person.
really pissed that Tom Cruise got cast in this because he's like 5 foot nothing, right? But he's so good at action. Like, one of the great scenes in that movie is when like the 5 dudes surround him to jump him, and he's like, before they attack him, he's just like, remember, you wanted this. And they're like, excuse me, it's 5 against 1. He's like, no, it's 3 against 1. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, well, after I take out the leader, I usually have to deal with 1 or 2 enthusiastic wingmen. The other 2 always run. And they're just looking at him like, what the fuck? Like, at that point, I'd just be like, well, this dude's been in a lot of fights, huh?
Yeah.
And like in any of his movies, he actually does like the martial arts and all that kind of stuff really, really well. It does a lot of the stunt work really well. So the movie had lots of really, really good action, an actually like good story, and it's really grounded. It's not crazy and over the top the way that some of the Mission Impossibles are. So that's actually a really good movie if that's your type of thing. So Jack Reacher's my number 5.
Okay, mine is Valkyrie. Valkyrie is a period movie during World War II when the Nazis were trying to take over the world. Hitler was on a rampage, like crazy mad person he was. And some of the other German soldiers decided that they had to put a stop to him because he was, in addition to be doing maybe some more horrible things than they thought that he should be doing, he was just crazy. So they decided they needed to kill him. And I think that Tom Cruise plays a guy called like Klaus von Hausenberg or Stauffenberg, something like that. Anyway, so he's a guy who was I don't know what his rank was, lieutenant, colonel, something like that, major. I don't know what he was in Africa in that theater, and he got blown up, so he lost his eye and some fingers, and maybe they had to put some robot parts in him. We don't know. They didn't go into that in the movie. And he decided that he was going to be the one to kill Hitler. One of the things about this movie is there's a lot of talking on phones in this movie. Everybody's calling everybody, talking on phones. Phones are ringing, a lot of talking on the phones. Anyways, so they hatched this big plan. There's a lot of ambivalence and people that were worried about the whole thing because it is kind of worried. You're going to get killed because I think that even after this thing, a whole bunch of people got executed over this because, spoiler alert, they blew up a bomb in the room that Hitler was in, but it didn't kill him. And then this was like 9 months before the end of the war where he actually committed suicide. But so that was 9 months that he was still doing Hitler stuff.
So I looked up the name of the character that Tom Cruise played to pronounce it, and fuck that noise. Look at that shit.
What's that?
Give that a shot.
It's Klaus von... Well, you leave the Schneckgraf out.
You leave Schneckgraf out?
Klaus von Stauffenberg.
Then what is
which is pretty much what I said,
Okay, but so the Schneckgraf was what threw me off.
That's middle names, bro.
Oh, so you leave that out?
Schenk.
I don't speak German, bro.
Okay.
Schenk and Graf.
Do you have a middle name?
Yeah.
Does everybody say it every time they say your name? Or
They should if they respected me.
Okay, anyways. So that's what it was.
I hear it so often that I don't even know what it is because I don't think anybody's ever said it. So I guess that speaks to people's level of respect for you.
They address me by my proper title of Captain Mal, so it's fine.
Anyways, I think that's all I have to say about that. Killing Hitler is a good thing to do, and that's what they tried to do, but they weren't successful. But it was it's kind of a spy movie. It's more like more or less a war movie than spies and espionage. But it's pretty good. There's a lot of good actors in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hailstorms.
So Captain Mel brought up that Tom Cruise has been doing a lot of action movies, and I think that was his genius way of reinventing himself at a time when he easily could have stopped doing movies.
Right.
Because he was not known as an action star before that.
No.
And that's been, what, like 15 years now?
Yeah, it's probably since like the early 2000s he started popping them out. And that's the thing is like Tom Cruise, he's not like the number one movie star in the world, because at one point he was at least pretty close to that.
Right.
You know, he's not anymore, but it's how he stayed relevant at the very least.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's still been just cranking out movies with his face on the cover, like,
as the leading,
the
yeah,
lead
and that
man,
still
yeah.
make money too.
Right.
That's the impressive part.
huge ones, which doesn't make me like him anymore.
That's fine.
But my number 4 is A Few Good Men.
I like how you praise him a little bit just to set me up to hit me right in the gut. I still don't like him.
No, I'm not trying to hit you in the gut with my difference of opinion. I'm trying to make things interesting.
Well,
'Cause if
you
we
get
all
on
were
my
just like,
side
oh my goodness,
as quick as you can. JK.
So, A Few Good Men, directed by Rob Reiner. I think that Tom Cruise, prior to, well, even now with the action movies, he's always, in every movie that he's in, he's doggedly pursuing something.
Yeah, okay. That's very, yeah. He's after something.
It's always,
and he's gonna get it.
And it's always
often running.
He's in.
He always
dogged
runs,
pursuit.
knife handed away.
Yep.
And most of the time he's riding a motorcycle, if he can help it.
Many times, yes, he is. Good point. So, in A Few Good Men, that thing which he is doggedly pursuing is the truth.
Can he handle it?
He can't handle it. So, he's good in this movie, I think, because he's not. I mean, he's the focal point in that he's, this big JAG officer, which is a lawyer for the Navy, right?
Right.
Okay. So he is trying to uncover what happened with the death of an enlisted guy, right? Or is he another officer?
Yeah, I think it was like a private or something.
Yeah.
Somebody low ranking, yeah. Right.
And so he's trying to uncover what happened, and they're in the middle of a trial, which is like the iconic scene from the movie. But the true star of that movie is really Jack Nicholson, I think, with his portrayal of like the bad guy. I mean, really. But
all the questioning about people can handle the truth.
Whether or not you can handle the truth. Such a good movie.
One of the most iconic lines in cinema.
Right. Yeah, such a powerful movie. And every time we do these, I always think, is there a large number of people that have never seen this now?
I feel like A Few Good Men is one of those movies that most people have seen, even if you're a little young, like because that came out. When did that come out? 92. So I was but a small child, and I've seen that movie. So.
Okay, well that's good.
Well, we were both just surprised on the Facebook page when Amanda said that she hadn't seen Logan or The Dark Knight.
Yeah, but all right, no, for real. Like, Amanda, you're one of my 5 favorite people being a Patreon.
6.
But
we have 6 now.
We have 6 now?
Yep.
Woo. No, we have 5
Wasn't
now.
that the number?
No,
We have 6. We have 6. He was already one of my favorite people, so he's just doubling up. Anyway, point is, I think you're awesome, but you should really get on that. You should watch those 2. They're both very good movies.
Good movies.
I'm surprised. I'm actually really surprised that voting wasn't closer. I thought that was going to be neck and neck.
Yeah, I think there was some collusion.
But yeah, no, good. Yeah, that's a movie too. Like, if you haven't seen that, it's very much worth watching. That's a good movie.
Oh,
A Few Good Men. Yeah.
Definitely. And most of my movies are not newer ones, and that's not a newer one either. Right. But it's a really good, powerful movie.
It is. Okay, my number 4 is going full steam ahead with the action sci-fi movie genre that he's been doing lately, and that is Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeats. So this is based off a Japanese manga by the same. Actually, the Japanese manga is called All You Need Is Kill, which I think is a much cooler title.
That is cool.
I don't know why the fuck they didn't just name it that. But anyway, so this movie's really great. It's basically Groundhog's Day with fighting aliens and wars and battles and all that kind of stuff. So if you don't like Tom Cruise, watch this movie, because you'll watch him die over and over and over and over, and gets run over by a fucking truck, gets like impaled, gets shot, like just dies constantly. But it's basically, he's like this, it's futuristic. We're fighting these aliens, and he's like a high-ranking like military officer, but he's never seen battle, never on the front lines. He's just politicked his way there, and he does a really good job of playing the sniveling, weak kind of like, I'm the guy who does all the interviews and like sells everybody on the war, but he would never do that, like go fight. And so in the movie, they force him to fight. They say that he's going to be on the front lines of like this attack is going to happen. He does everything in his power to get out of it, including trying to run. So he's just a straight up bitch. This punk knows nothing about this. So he's thrown into, like, they force him to have to do it, and like they have these big ass exosuits, like these like mech things that allow them to like try to fight these aliens. And like the company that he's in, like it's a bunch of like just normal random people, and you could tell he just wants out of there really bad. Goes to fight the aliens, dies, but his blood mixes with like that of the alien, and so he gains the ability to, every time he dies, the day resets and he starts over. And the movie does a really good job, kind of like Groundhog's Day does, where that can get really old really quick if we're just reliving the same shit over and over again. But as he progresses in his understanding of what happens, we see him die, and then it cuts back, not all the way, but to that point where he's at. You know what I mean? You could tell that he's done this 100 times over, and he's still just advancing. Like, it advances the plot forward in a really cool way without getting repetitive. And he tries every single way that he can to figure out what's going on. So anyway, Emily Blunt's in the movie. She's fantastic in it. And without spoiling much, you know, as they figure out what's going on, his character evolution in the movie is really good, because all of a sudden he goes from this whining, sniveling person who doesn't understand what it's like to really be a soldier to understanding what it means to be in combat, to having a camaraderie with the people that he fought with. All of a sudden, those guys at the end of the movie that have no memory, no recollection of them, he sees them jogging, and all of a sudden he has a smile on his face because he respects them and he knows like what they are and who they have as like inside of them as people, what they're willing to fight for. And like it totally changes who he is as a character, which is great. And on top of that, it has crazy, insane action. So that's why I love that movie. I think that's one of the best like sci-fi movies that has come out in the last 10 years or so. So Edge of Tomorrow, my number 4.
Okay, my number 4 is kind of a comedy musical called Rock of Ages. Now, in Rock of Ages, he plays Stacey Jacks, the veteran rock and roll singer. Now, the reason this is kind of fun movie is because it's musical. Has a lot of big name actors in there, like Alec Baldwin and some other actors, and they sing a whole. And I think the actors are actually the ones singing it, but they sing a lot of classic '80s rock songs. And I'll tell you about Tom Cruise. He's not the best singer. He's not awesome, but he's not as horrible as you'd think. He does okay for singing these songs. And so this is a whole story. There's a whole bunch of good scenes where there's a street battle between the people who are pro-rock and anti-rock, and there's a bunch of church ladies singing songs, and because they're the anti-rock and roll people. A lot of scenes with the guy who played Malcolm the Middle's dad, Bryan Cranston, as like this mayor who, while his wife's the church lady, against rock and roll, he's always with his secretary, like getting bent over his desk and sweating and all kinds of stuff. So it's crazy. Anyways, one of the funny things about this was one of the things that Tom Cruise, the actor, insisted on was having a monkey as a sidekick. He demanded a monkey. And by monkey, I mean a baboon. So he had a baboon as a sidekick throughout the movie, and the baboon was probably stole the show. Baboon's probably the best. I think he was called like Muscle Man or something. I don't know what his name was.
So I've never seen this movie, but I googled Tom Cruise monkey, and the picture pops up, and he's totally rocking like the leather jacket.
Jacks and his monkey. And so, you know, in the end, there's a new up and comer who comes up onto the rock and roll scene, and Tom Cruise plays a good kind of sexed out, hyper-sexed rock and roll star. That's pretty much what it's about.
Huh. Interesting. All right, Hailstorms, what you got?
Number 3, Top Gun.
All right.
So this one's probably largely due to nostalgia. I was in 5th grade, I think, when it came out. Grew up in a Navy town, so Top Gun was all the big deal when
All
it
about
came
Maverick,
out.
huh?
Maverick, Goose.
Right.
Grew up in a Navy town with one movie played at the movie theater. So when that was the big movie, I mean, we were all there. And I remember my best friend and I went to see the movie, and for whatever reason, instead of sitting in seats, we just laid down in the front on our backs and watched the movie like this the whole time. And like, for whatever reason, that is burned into my memory, because that's the best way to watch a movie about airplanes.
Listen to Highway to the Danger Zone.
Right?
Yeah, rocking it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like, I remember just, every kid wanted the brown leather bomber jacket. Every kid wanted the shades, the aviator shades. I mean, that was that when that movie came out, but he wasn't crazy Tom Cruise yet. So he had the cool hair. Look at that cool hair.
Oh, that is pretty cool hair.
Cool hair. Yeah.
I feel like maybe he's always been crazy. It's just he's let it come out a lot
Nobody
more.
knew.
Yeah,
Nobody knew. I don't think he was a
It
Scientologist.
was inside. Well, I don't think Scientology was around back then.
Yeah.
It just wasn't popular yet.
Yeah.
So how stoked are you for Top Gun Maverick?
I don't care anymore.
Would you go to the theater and watch it with us?
Maybe.
All right. That's a solid maybe. That's more than I thought I was going to get.
All right.
Nice. All right. Top Gun. That's one of my honorables. Spoilers. My number 3, The Last Samurai. So if you're curious of our in-depth thoughts of that movie, check out the review that Weapon 2 and myself did. We talked about that really in depth. We almost go scene by scene with that whole movie. But so I really, really love that movie. It is fan-fucking-tastic. And the story, again, like, there's a really good character arc that happens with Tom Cruise's character, where he's just this broke down, tortured alcoholic, just wanting to die, to where he actually like finds peace at the end of the movie. Ken Watanabe steals the show. He's fan-fucking-tastic in that movie. The storyline of the entire thing is great. Incredible action, everything. Even like the quote-unquote slow parts of that movie, where like the second act slows down a lot when he's in the village and just learning about their culture and all that. But all of it is insanely good. It's very, very watchable. I'm not going to talk too much about it, because I would like you guys to go watch our review, please. I mean, come on, give us a like and subscribe while you're at it. But yeah, Last Samurai, my number 3.
Yeah, number 3. Well, here's the deal. My number 3 is Collateral.
Nice.
Collateral is a very interesting movie where he plays a psychopathic villain who, at the beginning, you got Jamie Foxx driving a cab, and he comes out, looks like a businessman. He's looking for a cab, almost passes up Jamie Foxx's cab, and Jamie's like, "Oh no, I'm over. Hey, come back here. I'll give you a ride." So turns out he's just driving this guy around. He's just in town to take care of some hits, like a hitman does. So he's going around killing people, and then he tells Jamie Foxx, "You're going to keep driving me around, or I'll kill you." And a whole bunch more killing goes on. They're like, people try to take his briefcase, and he shoots him, and he kills him, and he's going around killing people. And then I don't remember exactly what happens, but somehow Jada Pinkett Smith shows up. She's like in an office building or some type of
She's
stuff.
in the opening scene of the movie.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Was she one of the ones that was supposed to get a hit on her?
We find that out later, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Spoilers.
So-
Yeah, so he like asks her out and they flirt and all that.
Oh,
and he
okay.
finds out that she's the last one to get hit. And,
Okay,
yeah.
so then like Jamie Foxx is trying to save her, and it winds up they're on a train, a subway, playing keep away, trying to jump on and off trains and run all around, and turns out to where there's a showdown, and Tom Cruise, gray-haired Tom Cruise, is coming at him, and he's like trying to get in Jamie Foxx's head by telling him, "I do this for a living," and they're shooting at each other, and what do you know, Jamie Foxx comes out ahead in that gunfight, and then Tom Cruise sits down, there's a little jibber jabber, and then he dies. So
That was my favorite part.
yeah, so that's
Watch after tomorrow. You'll like
that's
that.
how that ended. So, but that's a good movie. I kind of picked a bunch of movies that I thought he did like different things in. So my first one was he was the military espionage guy. Then he was kind of a comedic role where he's like a crazy, just drugged out. Now he's this psychopath bad guy that's just killing people without any remorse, just business, no hard feelings. Collateral.
Nice.
When we talked about what this podcast episode was going to be, didn't we have a conversation about whether or not it was acceptable that even though Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx made a movie together, that after Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes divorced, Jamie Foxx started dating her?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, and we were divided on whether or not that was okay.
Well, we decided.
I mean,
we went into a lot of Hollywood math on how many degrees of separation somebody would have to have, and we figured out that if it was any of Tom Cruise's co-stars, it would be thousands and thousands and thousands of people in Hollywood that could date each other. So we decided the math wouldn't work out right.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Well, you two did. I still think it's offsides.
Okay.
Okay, my number 2, Rain Man. Directed by Barry Levinson. Have you ever watched Rain Man, Captain Mal?
I don't think so.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
It's classic.
That's a classic.
Okay.
So, you know what, though? When I was thinking about it, tell me, Weapon 2, do you think it holds up as well? Given that Dustin Hoffman is playing somebody who nowadays the word we would give is autistic. At the time, I think we just didn't know what he was. But he's supposed to be autistic, but he's got the savant of being able to count in his head when somebody drops a box of toothpicks, how many are left, and all that. So I don't know if it holds up as well.
Because of the portrayal of that?
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's a little cliched, or?
I don't know.
Because it's, there's a lot of question about whether or not, like, how we treat depictions of people who are mentally...
Now versus 1988, so...
Right. But...
well, I mean, it's a story about... I mean, doesn't he, like, kind of befriend him? Or maybe he's, like, using
they're
him
brothers.
they're brothers.
So the original premise is that there's... I believe it was that the father died and...
Yeah, his
and
autistic
Tom
older
Cruise,
brother.
Yeah, he didn't
comes
even
back
know
for
he
him.
had the brother.
Yeah.
And so he had, and I believe in the movie he remembered memories from when he was a kid of somebody else, but didn't know that it was.
That's where Rain Man came from. That was his, as a child, that's what his
remembered
childlike
Rain Man.
memories remembered. It was Raymond.
Yeah.
But he remembered as Rain Man.
Yeah. And he thought it was his invisible friend or something like that. Right. But he's kind of a shyster. He's kind of a jerk. He's only going to meet him because he has to as a condition of the will, I think. I didn't rewatch it for the movie just because, or for the podcast.
Well, I think that holds up. That could all be kind of real people in real life that are a bunch of responsibility they don't want thrust on them, that they're either not ready for, or they don't want anything to do, but they feel compelled that they have to do it. I mean, that's kind of real stuff. I think that story can hold up.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that I like the most about that story is the character development his character goes throughout the whole thing. Because initially he's, not having it, not cool, doesn't know what to do with his brother, kind of finds him to be like this whole thing to be a huge imposition, and just is angry that his dad did this in the will. And then he ends up learning who he is and what makes him tick, and realizing that it's kind of important that he has this person in his life who looked out for him when he was younger.
Sounds like a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Even if maybe it didn't age as well as it could have, I still think it's a good movie. And Dustin Hoffman won the Academy Award for Best Actor in the movie.
Oh shit! All right, nice. All right, my number 2. So this one was hard, kids. Not its placement on the list, but I have this thing when we're making lists like this. If there's a franchise where I like multiple movies in the franchise, I only pick the one I like the most. I want him.
Impossible?
Calm down. You don't know me. Live your own life. It's Mission Impossible 3. But
I didn't know which number it was going to be.
Exactly. You didn't know which number because like literally it could be 1, 3, 4, 5, or 6. 2 sucks. But 3 and 4. So 4 is kind of universally praised as the best one, and I think objectively I would agree with that. 3 is my favorite though because Philip Seymour Hoffman is the bad guy, and he is fantastic. fucking tastic. He does that thing that like truly terrifying bad guys do, where he just talks to you in a really calm, chill voice, and it's the most terrifying thing in the world. Plus, the stakes for our hero, Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt, are the highest in this because he did what he shouldn't have done and actually got married, had a life. When they're these super spies, you know, they say you can't have those kind of attachments because they could be used against you. Spoiler alert, that's exactly what happens. And now that Hellstorm brought it up to my attention, yeah, he's totally chasing some shit in every movie, and he's chasing his wife.
Dogged pursuit.
Because, so they catch Philip Seymour Hoffman, who's this badass terrorist dude, and they're trying to question him, and Ethan breaks, and he hangs him out of an airplane, right? And so then all of a sudden, magically, because he has all the connections, Philip Seymour Hoffman escapes. And Tom Cruise goes right for his wife because he knows that's where they're going to go. Gets there seconds before she gets taken, or after she gets taken, I should say. Then his phone rings, and he answers it. And in the most calm, chill voice ever, he's just like, "You hung me out of an airplane." And so Tom Cruise starts like trying to talk shit. He's like, "Don't threaten me. Just don't do it." It's like, you can tell the character of a person by how they treat someone they don't have to be nice to. And you're just like, oh, fuck. Like, that is more terrifying than any kind of yelling or any kind of threats he could do.
Chilling.
Like to your fucking bones.
Yeah.
So he's such a better bad guy than in any of the other Mission Impossible movies. Now, I will say after this, they continue to be good. That's why it's my favorite action franchise that's non-superhero, because they haven't dipped in quality. They're all to this day really, really, really fucking good. This one just had the highest stakes. I believe it had the best villain. The action is crazy and ridiculous and over the top, but totally worth watching. And if you haven't seen any of the Mission Impossibles, this is my favorite. And you can go into it cold. You could just watch this without having watched the rest. They kind of fill you in on what you need to know. But yeah, he makes that movie, and this is the best Mission Impossible. So it's my number 2.
All right. My number 2 is The Last Samurai.
Ooh.
Now, we've already, like I said, if you want to find out all the details about what we think about Last Samurai, we did a whole review on this movie, but it's pretty much a redemption story where he's battling his inner demons. He's given up on life. He's a mess, and he goes to what he thinks is to help Japan fight the people that believe in the old style of stuff, the samurai, and he gets taken prisoner, learns to respect them and their ways of life and their philosophy, and finds redemption for himself in that journey. The Last Samurai.
Seriously, that is a
very good movie.
I was going to say criminally underrated, but it actually got reviewed and praised very highly when it came out. But it's a good fucking movie. You should really watch it if you haven't. Looking at you, Amanda. You probably haven't seen that either. Yeah, Storms.
It's not nice to call out people.
We call out the ones we care about.
Okay.
I care about those 6 people so much.
All right. My number 1, a little ditty known as Tropic Thunder.
A little ditty.
A little ditty known as Tropic Thunder.
Doesn't really have a cameo in that?
Yes. Which is how I like him, in limited quantities.
But you just want it like really fast, really memorable, but just really quick.
Yeah, that one was really good because I felt like he was making fun of... I mean, he was making fun of a real Hollywood producer, but...
He was making fun of Hollywood in general.
Yeah, well, the whole movie is making fun of Hollywood. And that's why it's weird to me that now people are acting like it's a horrible movie and nobody should like it. I mean, all it's doing is making fun of everything. So it's... all the cringy parts are on purpose, and they're calling out the Hollywood and all the things it does. But basically his cameo, I want to say when we saw it in the theater, that was uncredited.
I think IMDb listed as uncredited.
Yeah. So people didn't really know. I mean, it wasn't well known that was him. And so when you see it on the screen, you're like, who is that? Who is that? So it was, and I remember we saw it when we were dating, and we laughed hysterically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my number 1 because it was funny, and
it was short and sweet, just like Tom Cruise.
Yes. Yeah. Ugh. That's my number 1, Tropic Thunder. His cameo in Tropic Thunder.
Nice. My number 1's Collateral. Collateral is a criminally underrated movie. Like, not a lot of people, I feel, have seen that or talk about it the way it should be praised. Weapon 2 kind of hit the nail on the head in terms of what it's about. Tom Cruise is a hitman, an assassin, and Jamie Foxx is a taxi driver. And so the reason he finds out that Tom Cruise is even an assassin is because Tom Cruise murders somebody. Dude falls off the balcony, lands on the cab, and from there, our adventure starts. and he forces Jamie Foxx to drive him around as he kills people. But what makes this movie fantastic is the philosophical conversations that they have and all the fucking just nihilism Tom Cruise throws out throughout the course of this movie is fucking amazing. There are so many great quotes in this movie. I have to rattle a couple of them off. So, when the fat dude that Tom Cruise shoots and kills lands on the hood of the car, Jamie Foxx justifiably freaks out, right? If a dead body lands on the hood of your car, you're going to be freaking out. But Tom Cruise is just so fucking chill about it. Like, it's fucking hilarious. So Tom Cruise is like, there's 6 billion people on the planet. You're getting bit out of shape because of one fat guy. Jamie Foxx is like, well, who was he? He's like, what do you care? Have you heard of Rwanda? He's like, what? Yeah, I know Rwanda. Well, tens of thousands killed before sundown. Nobody's killed people that fast since Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Did you bat an eye? What? Did you join Amnesty International, Save the Whales, Greenpeace or something? No, I off one fat Angelino, you throw a hissy fit. Jamie Foxx, I don't know anybody in Rwanda. You don't know the guy in the trunk either. Fuck!
Truth.
That is just
Truth.
ridiculous. Yeah. And then, so again, same conversation. Tom Cruise, look, here's the deal, man. You were going to drive me around tonight, never be the wiser. But old Gordo here fell out of the window. Took his high dive. Now we're on to plan B. Still breathing? Okay. Now we got to make the best of it. Improvise. Adapt to the environment. Darwin. Shit happens. I Ching. Whatever, man. We got to fucking roll with it. Damn it, like the way he's just so chill and like nonchalant about that he's going around killing people.
Just
it's
explaining
hilarious.
how it is. This is what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
Accept it.
Yeah.
You're
still going to make the money I offered you. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then, but the thing that's
Or I'll kill you.
Yeah, but the thing that's like really great about this though is so Jamie Foxx has this dream, this vision of becoming like having a limo service that just never fucking happened. He's just a shitty cab driver. But like this experience like shakes him out of apathy and like opens his eyes to the fact that he's just been like sleepwalking through his entire life. So at the end of it, he actually has like growth and shit like that as a person and realizes like what he's been doing is like just not even living his life, just making it through type thing. And there's a really great line also in the movie where Tom Cruise talks about that this dude here in the city got on the subway, died, and just rode the subway around for fucking days before anybody noticed. Because like everybody's so wrapped up in their own fucking lives, they don't notice shit. And so when he does kill him at the end of the movie, when he's sitting down, the last words he says, he's like, do you think anybody will notice? And you're actually kind of sad because you realize like that character is so layered and so deep. Like you want to know a lot more about him and why the fuck he is the way he is, but you never get it. It leaves you wanting. Also, Mark Ruffalo's in it. Totally forgot about that until I watched it again. He's great. He gets murdered though. Spoilers. But Collateral is a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, you really should. It's great. Also, the scene where Tom Cruise just like murders 2 people in the back alley when they're coming to try to like save. Jamie Foxx is like trying to get them to save him, but then they go to rob him. Yeah. And then how he murdered, like in the blink of an eye, just wastes them.
Hey, what's up, homie? Is that my briefcase? Hey, that's my briefcase.
What about your fucking wallet? He's just like, you're dead.
Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah. He's a big fan of the double tap, which I'm also a fan of. But yeah, Collateral, my number 1, Weapon 2.
All right. Well, my number 1 is a character named Les Grossman. Producer.
Sounds like a real name.
On Tropic Thunder. He is his producer of the movie. He's ruthless, brutal, savage. There's one scene where he's mad at the director, so he's via Skype or some type of thing, and he looks for the key grip. Hey, where's the key grip? Some guy goes, that's me, and he goes, punch the director. Goes over and punches him. He's ruthless. But one thing that's amazing about this bald, husky man, Les Grossman, is he is not afraid to dance.
With hairy arms.
He is just a big, hairy, gross-looking guy. But that guy will put on a dance at the end of the movie. If you watch the extra scenes, the extras is him dancing, and all I have to say is yeet yeet. Why you on my ear? Talking all kinds of shit I ain't trying to hear. Step back, motherfucker. You don't know me like that. Step back, motherfucker. You don't know me like that. Yeet yeet. I ain't messing around. Make one false move and I'll take you down.
Why are you looking at me?
Step back, motherfucker. Okay, anyways, that's a song at the end that's playing when he's dancing. It's hilarious. So
you better put up a picture of.
Oh, I will. Yeah. I'll put up all the pictures. Nice. All right. I want to point out what Hailstorm. You give me shit from my list not being valuable.
No.
That is not the order that they are in his list. He switched some shit around.
There's some I switched.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine
You
with
know
it.
what?
She gives me shit for it all the time. So
At
she has to
least
give you
he
shit for it.
broke his not in particular order disclaimer
Okay, you know
at
what?
the beginning.
Fair. That shit drives me crazy.
You know,
He
I
committed
should
to
have
an
said
order.
Just not any particular order.
No,
That's what I should have said.
no, you
That's
are
what I'll say
forbidden
now
from
on.
saying that.
All right.
Forbidden.
Yeah.
You committed to an order, and for that,
Yeet,
sir, I
yeet.
thank you.
Does anybody have honorable mentions?
I already mentioned my honorable
All
mention.
right, I got a couple. Legend, Oblivion, Interview with the Vampire, War of the Worlds, Jerry Maguire, Top Gun, Mission Impossible 1, Mission Impossible 4, Mission Impossible 5, and Mission Impossible 6.
Would it have been easier for you to just list what movies you don't like?
I mean, probably, but that's not what these people pay for.
Get back, motherfucker. You don't know me like that.
Get back!
All right, so we're going to do this or that.
We are going to do this or that.
Oh, I can't
Continuing
wait.
with the trend last time,
Excited.
we're just going to go randomly, and the live studio audience is
This.
going to participate. Or!
That!
Or
Yell something!
this. Or
That!
Ah!
This!
but that.
What?
Or
You got to say this or that. You can't just make
Yeah,
random
you
sounds.
can't just bleh.
I think we
or
that.
This.
You got to go in order, too.
oh
This.
Or
you know what?
that.
I don't think you meant to do it that time.
No, I'm just appalled at the fact that this is the second time you've done the random thing and he's still not caught on that we still have to say all three words
In order.
in order.
It's just the who goes first is what
Yeah.
we changed up. Maybe he knows that.
This.
Or
That.
okay, she laughed. No, that's the points.
Surprise.
That takes all the fun out. You know what? Here's
I
the
think
thing.
he does know, but he chooses not to. Kind of like his
You
no
know what-
particular order
you know
nonsense.
what this is about? This
Yeet,
is about.
yeet.
No, you don't say yeet. This is about that
I thought you
said.
said skeet skeet.
No.
This is about that we said we had perfected it. You said that last episode.
Yeah, we
you
did
said
perfect
we had
it.
perfected it, and then you tried something new, and now it's fallen apart again.
So what would you propose, Hailstorm?
We've got to get it back locked in. We got to dial
See,
it
but I
back
feel like we're
in.
already good at that.
Next episode.
You know what we need to do?
We need to do something different.
This or that in order, and then we all three have to do a noise.
A
And
random noise?
A random noise.
Okay, that sounds good. I like that. Let's do
Okay.
that.
Here we go, folks. Number 1. Would you rather be able to shapeshift or absorb another hero's powers as a superpower?
I mean, I'm going to go with shapeshift because if we're existing in our world, there's not superheroes. So there's no
Yeah, do you have to
power.
get close to the other superhero?
You would have to touch them in most cases in the world of absorbing powers. Yeah.
Shapeshift.
Have to be skin to skin contact.
Oh, then I'm going with shapeshift because we know how I like to remain. I like to keep my distance.
I don't know. Maybe shapeshift. I agree.
Shape.
You literally made the question, so you could have formulated an
I
answer.
feel like-
before
I don't try to
now.
put a lot of thought into
but
this.
I-
You saw me just do this just before we.
But I
not
feel
too
like
long ago
if we
with this
exist
listing.
in a universe like Marvel or DC where there's superpowered beings, I would pick absorb their power.
You can't
Okay.
shake a stick without running into another superhero.
That's what I'm saying. They're everywhere.
But if you still have to have skin to skin contact, I'm picking shapeshift.
Okay. Number 2. Who's the best? Now you always don't listen to this, Hailstorm. So I want you to listen. Who's the best TV or movie? Dog. Go.
TV or movie dog.
I mean, Lassie popped in my head immediately, but I'm not going to go with Lassie. I'm going to go with the dog, the little baby beagle from John Wick 1.
Daisy.
Was that her name?
That was Daisy.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Daisy.
Yeah.
Because that was maybe the cutest puppy I've ever seen.
Pretty cute puppy.
And in terms of leaving an emotional, resonance. Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, that's the look. Look at the look Hailstorm's
How
giving.
about you? Are you going?
You gonna pick one?
Why don't you go first while I continue to think?
Mine's going to be Hooch from Turner and Hooch.
Fucking dog drooled everywhere.
A close second is Cujo.
Oh, snap. That
Yeah.
got dark.
Hooch and Cujo. Those are my favorite dogs
Okay.
from movies. Yeah.
All right, what you got, Hailstorm?
I couldn't get past Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
I mean, technically.
Ribby-roo. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Not that he's done anything great, but I mean, It's Scooby.
He solves all kinds of mysteries.
Yeah.
Does he?
Do
Though,
you
or is
know
he
how
just
many
around
people
when they
would have got
happen?
away for it if it wasn't for him and those meddling kids?
Hey, Scoob. How does Shaggy talk? Hey, Scoob.
I just love how like every fucking episode they're like scared of the monster, and at the end they like take the mask off. Don't you think after like?
Oh, it's the gardener.
But don't you think after like the 800th time they'd be like, "Hey, this is probably just some dick."
And
in the
I would have
mask,
got
right?
away
Like,
with it if it wasn't because of you meddling kids.
I don't think they're studying
Drugs are bad, kids.
Yeah.
Drugs are bad.
Okay. That's why when they showed up in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, it was fucking hilarious. And they were getting baked in the van, and Scooby starts talking to him.
That's awesome.
Good times.
In the Mystery Machine. Hey, number 3 is you're an action hero.
I know.
Are you following me? You have one weapon/skill.
Weapon.
I'm going to give you 3 options. Which
I
one
love
do
these
you
ones.
want?
I love these ones.
Do you want to be a master of hand-to-hand combat fighting, a master of firearms and explosives, or a master of savage wisecracks and devastating burns?
Well, I'm already that. So obviously, I want hand-to-hand combat.
I go hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
If I had to choose, I mean, you're not that if you're in the movie. You're only going to be what you chose, so you'll be hand-to-hand combat. I want to have the savage wisecracks and devastating burns, because even if I die, that's what I want everybody to remember. Yeah, that's what I want.
Nice. So you want to be like Ryan Reynolds-esque. Like witty, talking shit. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Now, friend of the show, Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds, of course.
It's a way better
Yeah.
friend of
Your
the show
Hollywood
than
best
Tom
friend.
Cruise.
I mean, they both call equally as much, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to hear from both of you.
Yeah, but we love one more.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
Tom.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan
Number 4. All right, here's the deal. Aliens are attacking Earth.
Uh-oh. This happens a lot.
Who do we want to have protecting us? Godzilla and the Kaiju. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Or the Pacific Rim Eternal People operated giant robots.
All right, so I'm going to break this down for you real quick. I feel like Godzilla and the Kaiju, they're going to do more damage than good that they do, because they're just monsters. They're not going to know what the fuck they're doing. They're smart monsters, but they're not going to be concerned with collateral damage, right?
Okay.
So you're going to have the guys in the Pacific Rim suit. That's a great choice, right? That's a great number 2, right? But the problem is they have to be drift compatible, right? So finding the people that could do that's going to be hard. The vetting process, and if shit goes south and they have to get out of the robots, they're kind of useless, right? Versus you have the Mighty Morphin motherfucking Power Rangers, who are the best of all the worlds, because outside of the Zords, they are fucking superheroes. Then they call upon the Zords. When shit goes really south, they get the Megazords, which are essentially just better operated Jaegers from Pacific Rim. So, if my life's on the line, I want the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
I'm going robots.
I hate you as a person.
I know.
Well, I'm just.
But they are robots. The Megazord, it's a robot.
Okay.
I'm going to be different. Godzilla and the Kaiju. That's what I'm doing. And that's the way that would. Now, number 5.
He's very disappointed in us.
I know he is. and
No,
that's okay.
I really want a good like Power Rangers movie. Like a good, because like the concept could be a really, really good movie, and I haven't gotten one.
Well, I'm picturing large aliens, not small people-sized aliens. So I feel like they could easily overpower the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
So the Megazord is the size of buildings. They're the size of like the Jaegers. They're gigantic.
Okay, well, fantastic. I don't even know what your words are coming out of your mouth.
So number 5. Would you rather boldly go where no man has gone before, be wished that the odds be ever in your favor, or learn reality is a thing of the past? These are, by the way, terms from different franchises.
Yeah, I
I
got
think
you.
we figured
got
that
you.
out. We're not dumb.
Got what you're throwing at us.
Okay.
See, Carla's not here. You don't got to explain everything.
All right.
Hurtful.
I know.
hurtful.
I know. I lash out at the ones I love. I want to boldly go where no one has ever gone before.
Yeah, out of those 3, I mean, the other 2 are basically defensive maneuvers.
I want to learn that reality is a thing of the past and break out of the matrix and become the one. Neo.
There was nothing in there about you breaking out of the Matrix. It was just that you were going to learn that reality was a thing of the past.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
This is the Matrix. That is.
But if you listen,
that is it. Yeah, you don't know what's going on.
you would know what movie that's from.
Yeah, maybe you should
know
have
what
watched
movie
the
that's
movies.
from.
Oh, you did watch the movie. All right.
Yeah, we made her watch the movie.
Yeah, we did. You're right. we
Yeah, I
did.
knew what all of them was from.
Oh snap! Okay, well, I'm allowed to make my opinion and my choice, and I did. You can make yours, which
And
you
I did.
She did. She just
All
thinks
right.
your choice was stupid.
That's
No,
fine.
you guys thought my choice was stupid.
All righty.
Can confirm.
Where are we at now?
So that was this or that, and so now you're gonna chug that beer, Mr. Weapon 2.
That seemed like a lot left to chug.
That's not that much, but it is Imperial though, so it's pretty strong.
He's gonna fall out.
And we have a little contest that we're doing because we want to give you guys free stuff because we want to hit higher subscriber count on the YouTubes. Weapon 2, give them a breakdown. Let them know what's going on.
All right, here. You know, everybody just wants the world to be a better place. And one way to do that, you know, there's a whole lot of things that we can do to work towards that. But one thing is to get your friends and acquaintances and people that you barely know and people that are your family members and you tell them about the world's greatest news and reviews, our YouTube channel, because we're trying to build our subscribership. What we need you to do is have them go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, like things, comment on things, share our podcast and other videos. I'm probably going to, I haven't the last couple times, but I'm probably going to post the directions for the giveaway that we have. We want you to, in a comment, tell us who you are, because when we get to 300 subscribers, we are going to do another giveaway. If you want to see what our past ones at our other 100 levels have looked like, just check out our videos for those. When we're packing a box, we give away usually a Funko Pop, a logo t-shirt for TWG, some comic books. I do a original drawing of your favorite character that we ship away along with some other prizes and good things that bring happiness. And that's how. What?
Is it true that if you let us know things that you're into, we will customize the box
That
for
is
you?
absolutely true. If you tell us what you like, that drawing is going to be that. The comic books we will see. We'll try to make just the things that you're interested in. Maybe the Funko Pop will be a character that you like. All that stuff. What other place would go out of their way to individualize this box of prizes for you? I can think of one, and that's us.
Yeah.
TWG.
I can't think of any others.
Nope.
So, other than that, we like for people to comment and interact on all of our stuff. We have a Facebook page for the world's greatest news and reviews, where we'll do some witty banter and comments back and forth. We want you to like and comment on that stuff. We have our website, which is theworldsgreatest.net. That's our hub for everything. You can find our podcasts and all of our stuff on there. We have our Instagram page, which we're going to start getting right back into and having all kinds of new and original posts there. It's just a lot of fun, folks. Am I right?
I mean, you couldn't be more right.
You couldn't be more right. I was
All
thinking
right.
the same thing.
All right. So finally something we all agree on, right?
Finally.
But yeah, as you mentioned, we're all over the place. Check out all of our social media. If you're watching this on the YouTubes, you could also listen to us. We are on Spreaker. We're on Google Play, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. So yeah, you could really listen to us wherever you want. But as always, watching us on the video is better because you get to see all the stupid faces that we make.
Yes.
We do make a lot of stupid faces.
We do. But yeah, like
And a few smart faces.
yeah.
When?
You know what? It's not. I know it when I see it. I'd have to watch it. I know one when I see
He
one.
has to watch the
Okay.
footage back.
I think
and
it
then he'll
happens
point it
once
out.
in a while.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so like Weapon 2 said, go ahead and enter to win our contest. We really want to give you free stuff. And since it is our 300th contest, our 300th subscription contest, we're probably going to throw some, 300 themed stuff in there also.
Sure.
Just because, why not?
Fun.
But yeah, all the interactivity, we really appreciate it. We do have a Patreon if you're interested in, trying to contribute to this 2-bit operation. Currently, we're thinking about getting a green screen and some more mics so that way we can start filming funny stuff.
And by thinking about it, we're actually doing it. We've talked about it in the past. We're actually spending some of the money. We're getting a green screen. We've come up with some ideas for some new videos that I think people will think are funny and entertaining. And we're going to give that a shot. And we're probably going to look into maybe getting some more mics and some other stuff like that for that purpose. Mm-hmm. It's exciting times, people. Stay tuned. Tell all your friends. Even find people, find people you don't know. Yeah. Just walk, if you got like a day where you got some time to kill, just walk down the street telling people about the world's greatest news and reviews.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do that, I'd even send you some cards and you can hand them out.
All right, Hellstorms, any closing thoughts?
No, I got nothing.
All right. Hey, same with this, man. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the World's Greatest News and Reviews. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications.
Peace.